Every day, millions of posts are uploaded online, some funny, some strange, and deeply disturbing. My job to decide what stays and what doesn't. Today, I am answering the most common Google question about content moderation from someone who's lived it every day. The first question which is asked is, what does content moderator actually do? So it's very simple. There are lots of content on internet. You just watch those content, but you are not just watching it. You are trying to capture any sorts of violation that content is making. It's depend on platform to platform. Different platform has different policies and guidelines, and you have to understand those guidelines, for which you will going to provide training during your probation period, and after clearing that you have to give some tests, and if you clear those tests you will eventually end up being a moderator. So what are the main skills that a moderator need? It's basically simple. I already made one video, you can watch that as well, where I talk about what is actually moderation is. But since here we are only talking about specific skill, the first thing is attention to detail. You can't miss a single second in while watching video. And secondly, you need to be a bit critical thinker. It sounds easy, but when you start watching a content a lot, you need to be prepare yourself with what sorts of challenges that can come up with any sorts of policies. We do have a guidance, but it's not necessary that everything is in that guidance. You need to make decision on your own in some specific situation based on your understanding. And thirdly, I will say it's more about mental health. Although it's depend on project as well. Some project has very graphic content and disturbing content, so that might affect you. So you have to be prepared mentally. Most asked question, the third and most asked question is, how much a content moderator earn? So well, it's typically depend on whether you are a in-house moderator or you are a third-party moderator. Meaning there are lots of organizations like Essential, Genpact, Cognizant. These are third-party associates where like Meta project, and where like Meta, ByteDance, where I am working, Google. Google and Meta are the same thing, but yeah, you got my point. Those organizations which have their own product, they also have their moderation team. So if you are on those moderation team, your salary are generally high. But if you are working for third party associate, then your salary will be a bit low. And based, as I discussed earlier, based on your performance, your salary of moderator will be vary. So fourth question is, what tools and platform are using content moderation? Well, it's depend on obviously project to project and company to company. They have their own product, or they might use a third party product, but basically they have a software, I will say, where the content will going to come up, and then you will going to assign to those particular software, and then you start moderating from that. So it's depend. Since I'm working for 2.5 years, most of my work happen in TCS, which is a trust crowdsourcing source, which is our in-house product where all the moderation things happen. It's not open to everyone, and uh, and secondly, we use our own communication platform, which is Lark, which is by far the best tool you can imagine for a corporate life. Teams is not that great, but I have heard some organizations using Teams. I mean, it's good if you have a. I mean, yeah, it depends on experience to experience. Since I've been like 2.5 years on Lark, and Lark is just amazing. Like you have meeting, you have mail, you have everything, Workday, HR, everything stuff is integrated in one app, and that app is awesome. So yeah, that's tool I use, and sometimes you have to use data sheets to do some normal data analytical job. So fifth question is, how how I keep myself with the changes in moderation policies with every week, I will say. Like we do have a calibration week. There's a particular process for that, and yeah, every week the policy, there are particular some changes on the policy that's happened because of particular trend. And it's like, it's not necessary that the policy that you learn buying while hiring as a moderator doesn't need to be same. Based on the situation, based on the market, and based on other particular factor, the main idea of the policy remains same, but few trends change the whole aspect of it, and it might cause any sorts of exceptions or any sorts of way to deal with those kind of content. So yeah, but don't worry. I mean, there are obviously a policy whole team assigned for this kind of particular role, and they will going to help on those particular situations. Another very important question. So, what is the future of content moderation, and is AI going to take it? So, as far as AI is concerned, AI is still right now in the moderation. It just, as a human, is obviously not possible to moderate all freaking content in the internet. So most of the cases which are seen generated will be wiped out by AI first, and then after that some content come to a moderator, and then based on his knowledge or her knowledge, then he will going to evaluate those content. So I won't say that AI will going to completely take it, but it will going to reduce the number of moderator that we had right now. So in order to sustain in this market industry, you have to be the best moderator. So another question is there any growth? Like, let's talk about the growth part of a content moderation. So basically, if you are hired as a moderator, there is two way. First, from content moderator, you become a quality analyst, and from quality analyst, there is more scope that you are being the team lead, and from team lead it's more like you can be a skip level team lead. So that's usually the hierarchy that's happened that is in my organization. Another role of a content moderator can be, from content moderator you can be a SME, which is the subject matter expert, and from that which actually SME has been changed to advisor, which typically means same. And after that you can be team lead, and then skip level team lead, then you handle a pack head like a regional head. So that's how the hierarchy here is. So that's how you move on with your particular as journey as a moderator, if you see yourself in like next 10-20 years. So the eighth question is how much pressure is in the role, and to be honest, is all again depend on project to project. Some projects are terrible. You will be going to see a lot of mental health related content, graphic content, and that might affect your mental health. So you need to be very. That's why I already told you, like, being a moderator, one thing that you need is a mental peace. You need to handle those stress. It's not easy. You can't moderate very graphic content, then maybe it's not a particular job for you. You have to look something else. But yeah, some project like mine, say like some countries are very what to say, like they are very conservative. So most of the time you will not going to see those content. While some countries, I don't need to name the country, but yeah, some countries are very open up and everything happen at those countries. So I don't want to like disclose actual content, but understand it's in like a very graphic content that you can't watch. The ninth question is always tricky. Like, what surprised me the most when I become a moderator? The first thing is I was completely unaware about this industry. As a moderator, I am actually like has a big role in an organization level, because if I miss something and that get highlighted in the news tomorrow, then the organization might have to face a severe consequences. So in that way, you see, it's a very important job role, but say again, it's an entry level job. Later, when I move on, I realized that I have to do something more than just moderation, and after that I start working on other specific things like improvement on policies, helping team lead with any sorts of management level, like leadership principle sorts of thing, and that helped me to upscale myself, to grow myself. And you have to focus on other area. You are hired as a moderator, but if you just go into moderating, then you will not going to succeed. So you have to look for any sort of opportunity that is coming on your way, and help your team lead to communicate well with them, so that they can give you any other opportunities. Right now, just I'm not only moderating, I'm kind of like a backup of my team lead. When he's absent, took charge, and I also work on data, and those data are obviously non-disclosure data, but those data will going to help us know where we are doing wrong, where we are right, and those kind of data analysis skills also I have developed while being a moderator. So that's, you hear it. So moderator, data analytical team lead, so it's all come within the moderator as well. So that's what may surprise me. As a moderator, there's a lots of things that you can do, but most of the moderator just come here and just moderate and go. In that way you will not going to succeed. So you have to find a way and work around those. The last question is how I stay unbiased when moderating sensitive content. Sensitive content, and like sometimes you generally feel like I do have my preference. Like I love Mr. Beast, I love other creator from my specific reason, but that doesn't mean I will go and be biased and just pass those content. If there is a particular violation from a higher tier creator, then they need to be punished as well. That's part of a job, you have to do it. If you don't do it, then your performance will be down. That's why we have QA. So when I bought it, it's not necessarily like every case will go to QA, but few cases go to QA, like and if that is one, like let's say for example I love Mr. Beast and Mr. Beast did a violation, but yeah, I love Mr. Beast, I will not going to tag and policy for this, that will going to affect this content. Then that content goes to QA, and QA tag the very sensitive violations, and then boom, that can affect my job as well. I might be fired next day if that is an extreme level of violation. But that's a particular example. You can't take this job with a biasness on your particular favorite creator. It's a part of a job. You have to just do what you are supposed to do. That's for what that you are getting paid for. So that's it. That are the 10 question, guys. Damn, that was a hectic chat. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more such content, and I will see you in the next informative / unfiltered blog. Until then, take care, bye, peace.